Another day, another terror attack. I mean, cultural enrichment from the religion of peace. Only 9 days into the Ramadan Bombathon, and including London and Manchester, there have already been 46 terror attacks, killing 510. Sadiq Khan, the Muslim mayor of London seems to know his religion pretty well. Terror attacks have indeed become the new normal. Part and parcel of living in a big city, at least one with Muslims, that is. When was the last time you saw a terror attack in Tokyo, Japan, or Seoul, Korea, or Poland with its no migrants policy? But instead of blaming the problem of Islam being diametrically opposed to the West, we've all gotten used to our politicians and celebrities saying incomprehensibly idiotic and asinine things in the wake of terrorist attacks, completely ignoring the cultural fault lines and spouting intellectually lazy and tired bourgeois sentiments to virtue signal to their liberal elite friends and sycophantic fans and followers. We recently had the pleasure of listening to Katy Perry's comments on the Manchester attack, which are a special case of stupid. And it encapsulates the hashtag movements of pray for insert terror victim here and hashtag build bridges, not walls. Katy Perry's comments also represent the broader trend of the left after these sort of attacks, which was demonstrated after the London and Manchester attacks. So let's have a listen.
The greatest thing we can do is just unite and love on each other, and no barriers, no borders. We all need to just coexist.
Now, the original video of this has been taken down, but the internet never forgets and never forgives. But what can I say? Her words are a parody of themselves. If I were writing a satire, I would not have been able to do a better job. So let's take a moment and appreciate the fact that Katy Perry has delivered onto us the rule of Poe's law now that satire is indistinguishable from reality. I can't do a better job of satirizing Katy Perry's comments, or the left in general, than what Katy Perry's own words are already doing. So instead, I'll do the impossible task and try to take the statement with a degree of seriousness and respond to it. So here we go. Katy, you cannot coexist with people that want to kill you. Liberal democracies whose virtues of openness and freedom you claim to love cannot coexist with Islamo-fascists in its midst. A society that is open to women and gay rights cannot coexist with a culture which throws gays off roofs and stones women to death for violating Sharia law. The West cannot coexist with Islam in its current state. Also, it is not borders nor nationalism which leads to these attacks, and holding hands and dissolving our borders and barriers and singing John Lennon's Imagine won't help us nor make them want to kill us any less. It is precisely the lack of borders, the lack of barriers between us and the people that want to kill us, that leads to the tragedy in Manchester and now again in London. Calls for unity and standing against Islamophobia did nothing to deter the attack in London. What did lead to the attack is the suicidal sentiments which the left holds to be self-evident and virtuous. Also, it seems that Katy Perry on some level, despite her statements, seems to agree with me, since she lives in a gated community surrounded by a large wall in her home. She obviously is not opposed to barriers, at least not for herself, but just not for us plebs. See, our betters are allowed to live in security, protected from their suicidal virtue signaling policies, which the rest of us must live with, lest we be labeled racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, fascist, and every other pejorative the elite, in their cozy gated communities away from the unwashed masses can muster. Katy Perry perfectly represents the modern leftist. Her statements embody their sentiments. And this will continue to be the new normal. People will continue to die, so long as we fear being called intolerant more than we fear for our children's lives. And that's all for today.